Hi, so I'll do a quick run through the app as it stands. This is the default screen that it comes up with, the list of foods alphabetically. This is what you see here, all the way it's formatted. It's kind of like a card view. So the potential being that we can put extra information on here that you wouldn't normally see in a list. The idea being that possibly I can set this up so you can have an option to show something as a list, a very concise list, kind of like your spreadsheet where you've got rows. Particularly useful when you've got lots and lots of stuff to view, or this card view which can have more of a sort of information on it for each item. So yeah, looking at your list of foods, if we click show, that's what your record literally looks like, with the basic information on that particular food item, the category, which you can set up your own personalized categories, a tick box whether it's perennial or not. Obviously if it's not perennial, it's annual. If we edit this, you can see here these are the fields, and room to put some notes. So perhaps you can put in here the variety of that food that you've had most success with. Maybe when you're sowing your seeds or seedlings, what's worked best for you, and maybe some pest management, things like that. We'll just go back for the moment. Here's a good example, broccoli, because under here you'll see a good number of crops and harvests that I've already recorded down. So it's from most recent at the top to least recent or oldest at the bottom. You can see these three at the bottom have actually already been harvested, and I've just arbitrarily chosen to quantify these as per head, being broccoli, 5 heads, 4 heads, 4 heads. You can equally choose to do that per kilo, your choice. And then these examples up here, for instance, you might say, alright, well these were sown just recently, so you know it'll be a good, I don't know what, 10-12 weeks before they're ready to be harvested. Then you would come back in and put the harvest information in. So that's that. I'll go back. So crops, this is more of a kind of like a read-only list view that shows you per food or per crop type all the crops that you've recorded down, if you like. Not in any particular order at the moment. We'll probably put those in alphabetical order, but you can see here obviously all the different crops under each heading, each item. Okay, here's an example of where I've done it per kilograms for lemons. No sow date, because it's more of a tree, more of a perennial type thing that's, you know, you plant it once and you're harvesting off it for years at a time. So that's the crop list of everything consolidated together on the one list. Purchases. Okay, so obviously you can record all the different garden related purchases that you've done. These are sorted most recent to least recent, individual costs, and a total at the bottom. Obviously there's a little bit of formatting to do with all this stuff, but you know, it's starting to get to that functional stage. So yeah, it'll keep evolving over the weeks to come. So if I were to go new purchase, for instance, here's your form, put your description in, pick a category, categories you can set up of your choice, purchase date, the cost, and where you got it from. And this is literally the result of what you get when you put a record in. Locations, these are locations you pick from when you're inserting new crops, crop records into the system. Once again, you can set your locations as you like. So yeah, brief description, north, south or east, west orientation, number of hours of sun, for instance, That active is, if it's active, then you can select it from the list. If it's a location you're no longer using, it'll remain in the system for all the older records that you're displaying. But if it's not active, it will no longer list in the pick list for you to pick from, because it's become redundant. So that's if I show that, that's basically what that looks like. I can edit. There's your fields there to actually edit it. So that's that. Food categories, another list that you can customize to your liking. Nothing groundbreaking there. Purchase categories, same thing again, but obviously for purchases, yeah, we've got those in alphabetical order, so that's nice. So that's it in a nutshell at the moment. Next steps, probably over the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'll be looking at setting up an actual login. So it'll just have a very basic information recorded, your email address mainly, and the ability for you to set a password and set your own personal area up. And then, yeah, obviously I'll need to deploy this to a secure public server, so you'll be able to access it, and you'll just be able to go for it. Just worth noting as well, if you do have a stack of stuff already in spreadsheets, it's quite possible that I might be able to input all that information so you can hit the deck running, rather than have to retype everything from scratch. Yeah, so anyway, have a think about it, see what you think. If you think of any suggestions or other ideas, or maybe a different way to show something. I mean, for instance, I've thought something I can add in with the crops. If we go here, the ability to record how much or how many of something you've planted, for instance. Additionally, I'm thinking about perhaps the ability to periodically, sort of anytime you wish, you can record a record down saying how much something or other costs at the supermarket, for instance, if you happen to come across that. And then that's one way you could probably check you know, your harvests against you know, the equivalent store purchases, as a means to get some sort of idea on your savings over time. That's it for now. Drop us a line on Facey. Let me know what you think. Okay, bye.